One of the things that I tell my soldiers is it's a very non-intrusive form of therapy. One of the things that appeals to my demographic with my soldiers and my veterans is I can come here, I can see results. It's a calm, peaceful environment, and I can see results and make progress without having to spill my guts if I don't want to. I can keep my secrets if I need to, and I can still find help and hope and healing in what Brain Life has to offer. And if you doubt that, come talk to Dave and Julie. When I was put on orders for the COVID mission, I was married to my wife, and we had 4 kids at the time, and I was essentially deployed inside of the state. I saw my wife and kids on weekends sometimes, and put strain on the relationship. But my job was to travel around the state with another chaplain. We kind of split the state, and my job was to check on my soldiers that were actually doing the vaccination clinics and the food pantries and such. So my job was to take care of the people who were taking care of our state at the time. During COVID, I put over 60,000 miles on a vehicle just working with my soldiers and who were out in the community in different places. But what I started to find was that as I continued to go through my normal routine on orders, and also shifting back and forth from being with my family for a day or two at a time to going and talking somebody off of a cliff, as I went through Brain Life, my capacity began to grow. My sleep got better. I'd go to bed in the hotel room. Beforehand, I would fall asleep on the bed with the lights still on, wouldn't dream. I'd wake up the next morning, put my boots on, and go back to work. As I continued through the Brain Life technology, I actually started to dream again. My sleep quality got better. As I interacted with my fellow chaplain, he was looking at the content I was producing. He goes, "Nate, your content is getting better. Your capacity to function in this role, essentially your bandwidth is growing." And the only thing that I saw different was, well, I was eating the same food, I was sleeping in the same place, I was dealing with the same people. The key difference was I was going through the Brain Life technology treatment. Stress and anxiety became less and less of an option. The quality interaction that I had with my family, even if I was just on the phone, or interacting with my fellow soldiers, from my side, the quality went up. The Bible talks about bearing each other's burdens. And one of the things that I think about is if the chaplain is struggling, how am I supposed to help bear somebody else's burden? And so with the focus and the reading and writing, my content got better that I was producing. The quality of conversation I had with my soldiers, it was easier to carry because of that shift away from the anxiety, and some of the clarity was there, where the ideas, the understanding came quicker. Not only did clarity throughout the day as I'm working with my soldiers, not only did that set in, but I also found myself starting to go to the gym again. And I started to look at, okay, how does other aspects of my health, how does that play into this? And so as the clarity, as the brain fog starts to go away, as my sleep started to get better, I found myself in the gym. I found myself looking at my diet and saying, okay, as opposed to eating fast food while I'm on the road, what else could I implement? And so I started to actually reach into different categories to help stimulate that. Once again, because I think I had more bandwidth. I came home at the end of the day, I still had more energy. I still had some of the focus to get my work done a little bit faster, to build a time buffer that I could actually begin to enjoy different aspects of life. And then the technologists or Technologist Plus that I've interacted with, very professional, and each one of them has their own story about, hey, this is how this has benefited me, this is why I work here. And the way I explain this to these soldiers and the clients that I refer to Brain Life is the most unintrusive form of therapy I've ever experienced. And being able to coming to a safe environment, being in a very peaceful environment, where a lot of the soldiers and veterans I work with, we see a lot of high stress, high anxiety. As they come out of the military, a lot of them are looking for purpose and meaning again in their life. And this becomes an oasis where it helps clear up some of that brain fog, where they can actually readjust and refocus on what is the next mission, what is the next step that I need to take in life, whether that's family or career, or even their faith. What does that look like? Helping to answer some of those existential questions. Well, those are now on the table because of this. And the atmosphere, I think, is fantastic. Being able to sit down in a calm, peaceful environment. It's the way I explain it to my clients and my soldiers, it's like rest on steroids. My uncle went through a stroke, and he was meeting with a physical therapist trying to keep the body alive and keep it moving. And I remember having a conversation with my dad, and then he did with my aunt. I said, well, from what I understand from the psychology piece, the brain is the engine, the hub that controls the rest of the body. And I think that there's a method of working with the body to try to kickstart the brain. But there's also a way of the brain, if we can kickstart the brain, it should affect the body. After my uncle's stroke, I remember going and meeting with him, and the left side of his body was basically dead. His speech was so impaired that he could barely, I don't think he could actually say my name out loud. And then my dad and my aunt started work with Brain Life to see if this is something that would be beneficial for my uncle. Brain Life was very accommodating, had him come out, worked with his schedule, worked with his particular ailments to be able to administer their Brain Life technology. And my uncle passed away a couple years ago now, and I remember that before he passed, he had a retirement party, and he got to see his grandkids. He got to interact with his grandkids. He could actually speak. Like he said my name before, like our last conversation. I remember him looking me in the eyes, knowing who I was, and being able to have a conversation with me. So going from that extreme of I can't even verbalize what I need, to being able to have a conversation with his nephew, that spoke volumes to me. And since then I've referred soldiers, I've referred veterans, I've referred friends here, and a lot of them have had similar results. Being able to see some of the graphs and some of the charts that show this is how this is affecting my brain function. They've come back to me and they've basically said, Nate, I don't know what I would have done without this being in my life. So my uncle is one. The other one that really stands out in my mind is a client that we went through what I would consider roughly a 14-hour panic attack. We did a lot of therapeutic skills, a lot of coaching with the family on, hey, this is how you deal with this type of thing, and we started to make some progress, kind of a triage, if you will. And I remember this family coming back to me and saying, okay, Nate, but now what do we do? Like, is this going to be normal? And my recommendation was, hey, you need to reach out to Dave and Julie at Brain Life. Friends of mine, great people. Call them, have a conversation. Like, tell them that I sent you. And this family, they did just that. And what I got to see with this individual, going from a 14-hour panic attack and trying to understand, is this going to be the new normal? When is this panic attack going to hit again? How bad is it going to be? Do I get to have a normal life with my kids and my family? To several sessions in, maybe a couple weeks to a month in, this person looked at their spouse and said, I feel like I had a normal day today. To now, this person is back functioning on a what we'd consider a normal level, or even the conversation I just had recently was, it's actually better. I'm doing things I didn't realize that I could do. Like I'm beating my kids at games and they're great at these games. So a huge pendulum swing from like I can't sleep at night and I'm in a severe panic mode to I'm enjoying life. Things are not only normal, but potentially even better. The response is it's amazing.